Have you ever felt like everyone in your house believes that the laundry washes itself, that the dishes magically disappear from the sink, or that the bathroom cleans itself by magic? Because let's be honest, no one cares until it's dirty. And the one who ends up putting everything back in order, as always, is you. If you're tired of being invisible, if you're sick of waiting for someone to offer to help and it never happens, then this video is for you. Today I'm going to reveal 10 cleaning tricks to you that are so weird, so crazy, that when you try them, you won't just save time. You'll also leave everyone in your house speechless. Because yes, no one helps you. But you'll be the one who has the house spotless with less effort. Let's go. First trick. Put half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon in the vacuum cleaner bag before you start cleaning. This trick is so simple and so effective that once you try it, you'll never want to vacuum without it again. Before you turn on the vacuum cleaner, take half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, yes, the same one you use for desserts, and put it in the bag or the compartment where the dust collects. If your vacuum cleaner is a modern bagless model, open the container and sprinkle it inside, right where the lint collects. When you start vacuuming, the air that comes out the back of the vacuum, which usually smells like old dust or a hot machine, will instead give off a soft, warm, enveloping scent that spreads into every corner of the house. It's a scent that's not intrusive, that doesn't smell chemical, and doesn't resemble supermarket room sprays. It's a clean smell, a scent of a well-kept home, of a properly cared for house. And the best part, no one will know how you did it. Because there's no lit candle, no diffuser, no spray. Just you and your secret cinnamon in the vacuum cleaner. On top of that, cinnamon has antibacterial and antimicrobial properties. While you vacuum and the dust swirls through the device, the cinnamon helps to neutralize bacteria and mites that may be floating in the air. It's like cleaning twice, once the visible and once what you breathe. If you want to give it a special touch, you can mix the cinnamon with a little ground clove powder or dried orange peel. The combination creates an atmosphere like in an old house, a grandmother's kitchen, but with everything fresh and clean. It's a trick hardly anyone knows because nowadays everyone takes the easy way out, artificial room sprays. But this is natural, cheap, safe, and much more effective. One more detail. This trick also makes the inside of the vacuum cleaner smell better. If it's ever happened to you that you put it away and after a few days it smells awful when you turn it on, that completely disappears with the cinnamon. You just have to regularly change the bag or empty the container and repeat the trick with every cleaning. Trust me, once you've tried it, you'll actually enjoy vacuuming for the scent alone. Second trick. If you have coat hooks or wall hooks in the entrance area of the house and they're always full of jackets and bags, hang a small bundle of fresh rosemary next to them. This trick is a real insider secret that hardly anyone shares because it seems too simple to be so effective. But it works, and how? You know those coat hooks or racks in the entryway, where the coats hang that haven't been worn in days, the supermarket bags, the kids' school backpacks, scarves, hats. Everything? Well, all of that, even if you don't notice it, starts to accumulate odors. Smells from outside, from food, from smoke, from moisture, even from sweat. And even if the house is spotless, all it takes is to open the door and you're met with that first warm, musty waft. And that's terrible. And that's where the rosemary comes in. Get yourself a few sprigs of fresh rosemary. You don't need your own plant, you can get small bunches at any produce market or farmer's market. Tie them together with a ribbon or jute string, make a small bundle and hang it discreetly next to the hooks or coat rack. It can even be hidden behind a scarf or between the bags. It doesn't have to be visible to work. Rosemary is a magical plant for this purpose. Not only does it have a fresh, clean herbal aroma, but it also works as a natural deodorizer. It absorbs heavy, used clothing odors and covers them without having to resort to room sprays or air fresheners, which only mask and feel artificial. And the amazing thing is, as it slowly dries, its scent actually becomes more intense in a pleasant way, never intrusive. In addition, rosemary is antiseptic and acts as an insect repellent. Yes, this little bundle at the entrance also helps keep flies, mosquitoes, and moths away, which love to sneak in through the door. And you don't have to replace it every week. A little bunch easily lasts 3 to 4 weeks before losing its effect. Once it's completely dry and no longer gives off scent, just replace it with a new one, which, by the way, you can dry yourself if you have a plant at home. An extra tip: if you want to enhance its effect, stick a few cloves or dried lemon or orange peels between the rosemary sprigs. This not only intensifies the scent, but creates a subtle mix of natural aromas that no one will be able to pinpoint, but everyone will notice that your house smells fresh and clean as soon as they step inside. And the nicest part, it creates a sense of a cared-for home. It's that invisible detail that makes someone say as they walk in, "It smells so good in here," without knowing where the scent comes from. Because there's no spray in the air, no incense burning. Just clever housekeeping, the way Real housewives know it. Even if you don't have a coat rack, you can hang the bundle on the doorknob or place it in a small fabric bag and discreetly position it in the entrance area. The result is the same. It absorbs moisture from clothes, disinfects the surroundings, and perfumes the air naturally. It's an age-old trick that no one talks about anymore because brands would rather have you buy electric air fresheners, but I assure you, this isn't just more effective. It's infinitely healthier. And believe me, after you've tried it once, you'll secretly smile every time someone opens the door and inhales that fresh, herbal scent. Because even if no one helps you, you know the little secrets that turn a mess into a home. Third trick. Mix 2 tablespoons of fabric softener with water in a spray bottle and spray it onto the window frames and curtains. This trick is one of those little secrets quietly passed from woman to woman, from those who know what it means to run a household alone. You'll never see it in an ad, not even in the typical cleaning videos, but once you try it, it's almost like a little miracle. And no, it's not just about making things smell good. This trick prevents something we all hate. The dust that settles on window frames and curtains, that dust that shows up again 2 days after cleaning and makes you feel like you'll never catch up. Here's what you'll do. Take a clean spray bottle, it can be one from the kitchen or a recycled jar with a spray top, and fill it with about 400 milliliters of water. Then add 2 tablespoons of your favorite fabric softener. If it's concentrated, even better. Don't use more, because we don't want anything sticky or oversaturated. The secret is to keep it a light mixture. Shake well so everything mixes, and then use it to spray the window frames, door frames, fabric curtains, plastic or wooden blinds, and even the vent grills of air conditioners or fans. Why? Because the dust constantly floating in the air, believe me, it's always there, tends to settle on dry, rough surfaces. But if those surfaces have a fine layer of fabric softener, it acts as a repellent barrier. The dust slides off and no longer sticks so easily. Plus, the scent of the fabric softener clings to the fabric fibers of the curtains for days. Every time you open a window and air flows in, you won't stir up dust, but instead you'll notice a delicate, non-intrusive fragrance that surrounds you. It's especially handy for curtains you can't wash often because besides the scent, it also ensures they don't attract so much dust and that when you draw them closed, no gray cloud of dust rises up. An extra tip. If you want to prolong the effect and at the same time prevent lint from clinging, add a teaspoon of white vinegar to the mixture. The vinegar neutralizes the static electricity that makes dust stick to curtains and blinds. Don't worry about the smell, the fabric softener completely masks it while also boosting the cleaning and disinfecting power. What no one tells you. This trick also works wonderfully on the backs of furniture, on baseboards, and on the edges of mirrors, places we often forget to clean or that already look dusty again after just a few hours. With this mixture, they stay cleaner and fresher longer with no effort. Another advantage. If you have pets, this trick also helps prevent hair from settling as much on curtains and window corners. And because the mixture is so light, it doesn't leave stains or greasy residues. This isn't a trick from glossy magazines or ads. It's one of those clever habits adopted by women who are tired of cleaning every day without help, little tricks that make life a bit easier and that you only share with others who truly know what it's like to have a house that seems to get dirty all by itself. Try it once and I promise you, you'll wonder why no one ever told you about it before. Fourth trick. If you have old grease stains in the kitchen that won't come off with anything, spread a thin layer of butter over the stain, wait 5 minutes, and wipe it off with a damp cloth. This trick sounds totally absurd when you first hear it. Clean grease with grease? Yes, and it works so well that once you've tried it, you'll never want to use expensive products or chemical degreasers again, the kind that sting your nose and dry out your hands. Because here's a truth no one tells you, old grease stuck to the tiles, the range hood, behind the stove, or along the sides of the oven becomes hard and porous over time. And contrary to what advertisements claim, no cleaning spray dissolves it instantly. You first need to soften it, and for that, there's nothing better than fat itself. Here's what you'll do. Take some regular butter, not margarine, butter. That's important, because butter is pure fat and stays stable in contact with old grease while starting to dissolve the hardened crust. You don't need to heat or melt it. Just take a small spoonful and spread it with a knife or spatula over the stain, so the sticky area is lightly covered. Let the butter sit for 5 minutes. No longer, because if it dries out, it loses its effect. In that time, the fresh butter fat begins to bond with the old grease and loosen the hard particles. It's like it lifts the edges of the stain and gets it to slide. After 5 minutes, take a clean, damp cloth, preferably warm, and wipe over the area. You'll see how the stain, which before felt like stuck-on chewing gum, comes off easily. If the stain is very old or thick, you can repeat the process a second time. Most of the time, it disappears completely on the second try. And the best part, you won't scratch any surfaces, damage any finishes, or use products that burn your skin. Another tip. This trick works great on stainless steel surfaces, on the sides of gas stoves, on kitchen cabinet handles where oil often splashes, and even on stove burners. For the burners, apply the butter, let it work, and then clean with a soft sponge and warm water. And if you're worried that everything will smell like butter afterward, don't worry. Just wipe over it with a damp cloth and a drop of white vinegar, and everything is neutralized. The surface will be grease-free, odorless, and cleaner than with any chemical degreaser. This is one of those tricks our grandmothers probably knew and that the industry conveniently forgot about, so we'd spend money on products that promise miracles and only leave us scrubbing for hours. Fat dissolves fat. And with a little patience and a lukewarm cloth, you'll get rid of stains that have been stuck for months. Because if no one helps you at home, you have to be clever. And it's exactly these little victories that save your day. Fifth trick. Use a white wax candle to rub the tracks of windows or drawers that stick. This is one of those tricks hardly anyone knows because no one imagines that a simple white candle could solve such an annoying, everyday problem. How many times have you struggled with sticky drawers or sliding windows that you have to shove with all your strength because they seem stuck? And even worse, when you finally manage to open them, you find those tracks full of settled dust, lint, insect remains, and grime that's impossible to clean. With this trick, that problem is solved once and for all. What you have to do: get yourself a completely normal white wax candle. Not a scented one, not a colored one, not a paraffin candle with glitter. Just a plain candle, like the kind used during power outages. This wax is ideal because it's solid, neutral, and leaves no stains. Before using it, wipe the track or drawer guide with a cloth to remove loose dust. It doesn't have to be spotless. Then, take the candle and rub it directly over the tracks of the windows, both along the bottom and the sides where the rollers or stoppers move. You'll notice how the wax leaves a fine, invisible layer. It doesn't need to be thick, just a smooth, even film. Do the same with the tracks of wooden drawers, especially the old ones that squeak or get stuck in the middle. Rub the sides of the drawer where it touches the structure, and if there are rails underneath, rub those too. The candle wax acts as a dry lubricant. What does that mean? It lets the parts glide smoothly without using oils or silicones that often leave stains or attract even more dust. On top of that, the wax layer protects the surfaces so that humidity and dust in the air no longer settle so easily in those narrow gaps. Meaning, it not only improves the sliding but also keeps the tracks clean for longer. The best part, this effect lasts for weeks. Even in humid areas like the kitchen or bathroom, the wax stays stable and prevents wooden drawers from swelling and jamming due to temperature fluctuations or moisture. Another extra tip. If you have squeaky hinges or closet doors that no longer close properly, you can also rub a bit of candle wax on the edges or underside of the hinge. It's quick, clean, and lasts much longer than oil. Another advantage. Since it's not a greasy lubricant, it doesn't dirty your hands or leave stains on your clothes if you touch those spots later. It's completely odorless, invisible, and natural. Plus, it saves you from future cleaning sessions in those corners no one likes to reach into, because thanks to the wax, less dust settles there. No one tells you tricks like this anymore because we're surrounded by new, expensive products marketed to us as household essentials. But I can assure you, a simple white candle can solve more problems than you imagine, and once you start using it, you'll remember this trick every time a window opens as smoothly as it did on the very first day. Because when no one helps you and the house still has to stay clean, it's exactly these simple, effective solutions that save you and show you that you can keep everything in order without much effort. Sixth trick. Place a small bag of raw rice, scented with a few drops of vanilla essence, in your wardrobe. This trick is simply brilliant, and the crazy thing is that it's gotten lost over the years because nowadays, everyone immediately runs out to buy expensive fragrance sachets, aroma bags, or electric dehumidifiers. But grandmothers back in the day, who didn't have money for such luxuries, kept their closets fresh and pleasantly scented with simple, effective, and natural methods. This method is one of those old secrets where, once you try it, you'll wonder why no one does it anymore. What you have to do: take some raw rice, just the regular kind you use for cooking. It doesn't matter what type or brand, as long as it's dry. Then, put 2 or 3 tablespoons of it into a fine fabric bag or a small organza pouch. If you don't have one, you can also use an old, clean cotton sock and tie it shut at the top. The important thing is that the rice stays inside but can still breathe, because its job is to absorb the moisture from the air inside the wardrobe. Now comes the magical part. Add a few drops of vanilla essence. You don't need much, 6 to 8 drops are enough. If you don't have vanilla essence, you can also use essential oil like lavender, eucalyptus, or any other scent you like. But with vanilla, it's something special, because this scent gives the wardrobe that warm, sweet, and cared-for smell of clean, well-kept laundry. Place this little bag between the towels, on the shelves, in the underwear drawers, or in the wardrobe with the jackets. What exactly does it do? The rice acts as a natural dehumidifier. It absorbs the moisture that tends to build up inside closed furniture, especially in winter or in humid climates, and prevents the laundry from getting damp, smelling musty, or making the towels feel heavy and clammy. At the same time, the vanilla essence slowly releases its scent, infusing the wood and textiles with a delicate, subtle aroma that lasts for weeks. It's amazing how the atmosphere in your closet changes when you open the door and, instead of that stale, musty odor, you're greeted by a fresh, sweet scent like freshly laundered clothes even if you haven't touched them in days. And it's not just about the fragrance. Because the moisture is absorbed, you prevent the formation of mold, mildew spots, and dark patches on your clothes or on the furniture walls. Plus, it stops that sour smell that clings to coats and bedding when they've been stored for a long time. The trick is, swap out the little bag once a month. The rice will absorb so much moisture over time that its effect fades, and the aroma will dissipate too. When you replace it, you can simply throw the old rice into the garden or a flower pot. It won't harm anything, and quickly make yourself a new little bag in seconds. Another advantage: if you have drawers where you store important papers, old photos, or keepsakes, you can place one of these bags inside to keep moisture from damaging them or making the paper musty and old-smelling. It's so simple, so inexpensive, and so effective that I don't understand why people don't do it anymore. Because what seems like a tiny detail is one of those silent little touches that make the difference between a clean house and a truly well-cared-for home. And when no one helps you, it's exactly these details that give you back that sense of control and order without breaking your back or spending a fortune on industrial products. Try it once, and you'll never want to go without it again. Seventh trick. If the baseboards in your house get dusty quickly, wipe them with a damp baby wipe and then rub a very thin layer of hand cream over them. This is one of those tricks no one teaches you because it seems insignificant. But it makes a huge difference in how your home looks and how long it stays clean. You know those baseboards, the lower edges along the walls near the floor that instantly gather dust? It's like they have a magnet. You clean them today, and by tomorrow they show that grey line of lint, dirt, pet hair, and grime that seems to appear by itself. And the worst part is, even if no one says anything, people notice when they walk into your house and see dirty baseboards. Because it's one of those details that reveals whether a house is tidy or neglected, even if everything else is spotless. With this trick, you can forget about it for weeks. First, grab a damp baby wipe. Yes, one of those soft wipes without strong chemicals. Wipe down all the baseboards to remove dust, lint, and surface dirt. The good thing about baby wipes is they pick up the grime without stirring up as much dust as a dry cloth would, and they don't scratch paint or wood. Once the baseboards are clean and dry, here's the clever part: take a small amount of hand cream, whatever you have at home. It doesn't need to be expensive or perfumed. Any mild moisturizing lotion will do. Put a drop on a clean, dry cloth or even an old piece of sock and rub it over the baseboards. Important: the layer of cream must be very thin, almost invisible. What does this do? First, it gives the baseboards that slight healthy sheen that makes them look clean and well maintained. Second, the cream nourishes the surface whether it's wood, MDF, or painted and seals the tiny pores where dust loves to settle. And the most important thing, thanks to the thin layer, dust in the air no longer clings as easily. It practically glides off instead of sticking. This effect lasts much longer than you'd expect. Depending on how much use and humidity there is in your home, the baseboards can stay clean for up to 2 weeks without visible dirt. And the best part, next time you clean, the dust will come off much easier because it won't be baked onto the surface, it'll just be sitting on that moisturizing layer. Another tip: if you want your baseboards not only to stay clean but also to have a subtle fragrance, you can use a cream with a light scent of vanilla or almonds. Not too strong, because it shouldn't smell like an air freshener, just leave a barely noticeable hint that enhances the feeling of cleanliness. This also works on the bottoms of doors, the sides of low furniture, and the fronts of cabinets where lint tends to gather. Even if you have baseboards made of plastic or PVC, this trick keeps them shiny and prevents them from yellowing due to accumulated dust. It's a cheap, quick trick that truly makes a difference in how your home is perceived. Because one thing is to clean the obvious, and it's something else entirely to take care of those little details no one else notices. And when no one helps you with the cleaning, it's exactly these small, clever gestures that give you back control without wearing yourself out. Believe me, once you've tried it and seen how clean everything stays, you'll never want to skip it again. 8th trick. Place an old sock filled with small balls of aluminum foil in corners where dust loves to gather behind appliances or under furniture. This trick is so unusual that people look at you funny when you tell them about it, but it really works. And not just against dust. We all know those sneaky corners in every house: behind the fridge, under the bed, behind the stove, next to a heavy cabinet no one ever moves. Places no broom or cloth can reach, where dust, lint, pet hair, and even little insects take refuge. With this trick, that problem is solved without you having to bend over or tear the whole house apart. You'll need an old sock, it doesn't matter if it's torn or discolored, as long as it's clean. The idea is to reuse something you would normally throw away. Then take a few handfuls of regular kitchen aluminum foil and shape them into balls about the size of a walnut. They don't need to be perfect, just round enough to fill space. Once you have several balls, fill the sock with them until it's stuffed like a small pouch. Then tie the opening with a knot or a piece of string and you've got your homemade remedy against dust and small critters. Why does it work? For 2 reasons. First, aluminum foil is a material that repels insects. Many small pests like cockroaches, spider mites, or moisture-loving bugs avoid contact with aluminum because it interferes with their natural heat and electric sensors. That's why this foil-filled sock acts like a barrier in dark, damp corners. Second, the balls inside the sock take up space, preventing dust from gathering in areas where unsightly black lint would normally accumulate over months. And since the sock lets air pass through, no trapped moisture builds up. Plus, the aluminum itself helps reduce static electricity in those spots, the same static charge that attracts dust and lint like a magnet. Ideally, place one of these filled socks behind every household appliance you rarely move: the fridge, the stove, the washing machine. Also under large pieces of furniture like beds, dressers, heavy chairs, and cabinets. There's no need to hide them too well, no one will see them, and they'll do their job without getting in the way. Bonus tip: if you want to give them an extra touch, you can add dried orange or lemon peels or a handful of cloves between the aluminum foil balls. That way, you won't just prevent dust and insects, but you'll also gently scent those enclosed spaces. And when you move a piece of furniture months later, you won't be greeted by a musty, stale odor. And the best part, you don't need to change them every week. These filled socks easily last 2 to 3 months before you need to check them or add more aluminum balls. When they've served their time, you can toss them out and replace them in seconds. This trick, which hardly anyone uses anymore today, was once a very common method in old homes where women didn't have insecticides or modern vacuum cleaners. And like all good things, it still works. Because when cleaning is entirely up to you, every idea that saves you work, time, and unpleasant surprises when moving furniture is worth its weight in gold. And this one, as odd as it sounds, is one of the most effective. Ninth trick. If your toilet has stains that won't come off, drop 2 effervescent vitamin C tablets in before bed and let them work overnight. This trick is so unusual it almost makes you laugh the first time you hear it. Vitamin C tablets for cleaning toilets? Yes. And they don't just clean, they leave the toilet sparkling, without that harsh chemical disinfectant smell and without scrubbing for half an hour with a brush. Because let's be honest, few things at home are as frustrating as a toilet you scrub and scrub, yet those yellowish stains or grey marks seem to be baked into the porcelain surface. Here's how it works. Take 2 vitamin C effervescent tablets, the kind that dissolve in water and fizz. Brand doesn't matter, any regular pharmacy variety will do. At night, before going to bed and when no one else will be using the bathroom, drop both tablets into the toilet bowl. Let them sink to the bottom and watch them start to fizz. This fizzing isn't just for show, the bubbles release ascorbic acid, which helps dissolve dirt, limescale, and stubborn stains on the porcelain. Important, don't flush and don't stir. Let the tablets work undisturbed for at least 6 to 7 hours. While you sleep, the bubbles will gently loosen dirt particles, even in places a brush can barely reach. The next morning, a quick pass with a toilet brush, no need for intense scrubbing, and the grime comes right off. Whether it's limescale, yellow stains, or mineral deposits inside the bowl, the porcelain will be white, smooth, and naturally shiny. Bonus tip, since vitamin C also has disinfectant and deodorizing properties, the toilet won't just look clean, it'll smell fresh too without making your bathroom reek of bleach or harsh chemicals. And another thing, if you have stubborn marks around the inner rim of the toilet where the water flows, you can dissolve another tablet in half a glass of warm water and use an old toothbrush to work the mixture directly into the stains. They'll vanish within seconds. This trick is ideal for people with allergies, homes with kids or pets, or anyone who prefers not to flood their bathroom with industrial products. Plus, it's inexpensive. A pack of effervescent tablets costs less than a strong chemical cleaner and lasts for multiple uses. The best part, no scrubbing, no gloves, no leaving the bathroom because of the fumes. And because the effect is slow but thorough, you can repeat it once a week and say goodbye to stains forever. Honestly, tricks like this belong in every homemaker's handbook for keeping everything spotless solo. When no one's helping you, it's these clever little strategies that save you from wrestling with the toilet every other day. Try it one night, you'll be surprised. 10th trick. This is my favorite. Sprinkle cornstarch powder on your carpets before vacuuming them. This trick is a treasure that few know and even fewer use, but I assure you, it completely changes the look of your carpets, which often appear dull, smell bad, and never look truly clean even if you vacuum every day. Cornstarch, also known as corn flour or maizena, is a very fine white powder that can do much more than just baking. It's an incredible natural helper for cleaning. You sprinkle a generous layer of cornstarch over the entire carpet surface. Don't worry, it may look like a lot, but the powder is very light and doesn't weigh down the carpet. Once it's evenly spread, let it sit for at least half an hour. During this time, the cornstarch works like magic. It absorbs moisture from the fibers, preventing the carpet from feeling damp or smelling musty. But that's not all. It also binds invisible grease particles that glue the fibers together and make them look dull, and it neutralizes strong odors, whether from pets, food, or old dust. After the waiting time, vacuum the carpet as usual. You will see that the powder is removed along with the dirt, and the result is immediately visible. The fibers look looser, the colors more vibrant, and the carpet appears fresh, clean, and renewed. If you have pets, this trick is worth its weight in gold because it neutralizes urine and sweat odors and also makes removing pet hair easier. And if you have a grease stain on the carpet, sprinkle cornstarch directly on the spot, let it sit longer, then vacuum it up. The stain will be much less visible. Bonus tip, you can mix the cornstarch with a few drops of essential lavender, lemon, or eucalyptus oil before spreading it to leave a super pleasant and natural scent on the carpet. The best part is that this trick is completely safe for every type of carpet, doesn't damage the fibers, doesn't alter the colors, and is totally natural. Nothing like those harsh chemicals that ruin the structure over time. In households where no one helps you and you're the one doing all the cleaning, this little secret is an easy and inexpensive way to breathe new life into carpets without having to pay for professional cleaning or expensive carpet shampoos. Plus, It's quick and requires no extra effort, just a bit of patience while the cornstarch does its job. If you try this method, you'll be surprised how much of a difference it makes to the atmosphere and the overall feeling of cleanliness. Because sometimes, it's not just about cleaning thoroughly, but about keeping things fresh, healthy, and with that little extra that says, someone cares about every detail. And with this trick, you'll be the person with a spotless home even if no one helps you. Now tell me, how many of these tricks did you know? Surely one or another has made you think. Because when no one helps you at home, you have no choice but to get creative. And believe me, keeping a home tidy without exhausting yourself is possible. If you know these secrets. If you want more ideas like this, subscribe because no one else will tell you.